Hi everyone, it's Miss Dragonfly back again, and today is another video in my commentary reaction series. And today's one, we have a female and her name is Pearl Davis. For those that don't know, she is a young white woman that is known throughout the internet and on social media as being an anti-feminist. And I guess she stands out because of that, and we're not used to a young white woman being an anti-feminist. Now, before we go into a video, if you can like, share and subscribe so this video can reach more people and the word will spread out more. So that would also help me a lot with the algorithm. Now, onto the video, and today's topic, or her video topic, is a very, very contentious. It's called Why Women Are Not Smart. You heard it right. A very controversial statement to make. So let's see what she has to say.
So what conclusion does that lead me to? I think the women are dumber than the men, because I think our emotions just get in the way. We're too emotional. We see a problem, we get emotional about it, where the men can just... So today's lesson is why women are dumb. Now, please guys, hear me out. Just wait, don't get mad, ladies. I know you're like keyboard warriors already. But women, out of the two genders, are definitely the dumber gender. Now, I believe that they're trying to make us think we're more important and more special than we are. Therefore, so we think we're better than the average man. And they have all these fake jobs and institutions to make us feel better about ourselves. Okay, so I got to thinking, if women are so smart, right, and women can do everything a man can do, where is the female Elon Musk? Where is the female Bill Gates? Why haven't we produced this? You would think if we were so smart, this would have come up. And it seems like every woman they've propped up in history as a top earning woman, it seems to come out later that there was some man behind her. So I got to thinking, are women better at anything? Is there anything women can be great at without the guidance of a man? And I just think that our emotions are too distracting. We think with our emotions first. Men think with logic first. Even the most successful, the smartest women I know still think emotions first. And my theory is they created... So let's do the average life of a woman. So we have a woman, right? Look at this. I'm going to give her some nice...
Whoa, that was some statement that she made. There's no female version of Elon Musk. She said men have done a lot of more things than women, and women, even the smartest ones, have not been able to achieve without a man behind it, and it's because women are more nurturing in nature. A quick message before we continue the video. This is my book on spouse selection called Your Complete Partner. How to choose the right partner for love and marriage for a lifetime. Now, this book is like no other and will show you a completely different way of looking at relationships and choosing partners, and show how they impact your life both positively and negatively. You must read this book before you marry or have a long-term relationship, so you can avoid the pitfalls of choosing the wrong partner and know why the right partner is thoroughly worth all the effort and commitment. You can download it for free by following the link below. This is my gift to you, so please take advantage of it, enjoy and learn from it. Now back to the video. If you look at it rationally, what she says is actually true, that there's no female Elon Musk and women are more nurturing in nature. But to me, that is not a bad thing. Okay, let's not get into a gender war between men and women because it's unnecessary. Men are men and they are good at what they do. Women are women and women are good at what they do. Okay, and women are more nurturing than men, so they're more suited to the roles. Well, they're firstly more inclined to do the roles that instinctively they want to do, such as the more nurturing roles, and also because I guess it's easier for them as well because that's in their nature, so you want to express it. Nurturing, as in teaching, nursing, aged care, that sort of thing. Whereas men, yes, they're more rational. I guess that their minds are far more analytical than emotive. That's the case with a woman. So they're the ones that go out and they build things and make things happen. And that's necessary in society, but also what women do are necessary in society. At the moment, we're having an acute shortage of nurses and aged care workers and preschool teachers. And we are feeling the effects of that shortage. We're suffering for it. So they might not be seen as important as rocket scientists or people who build things, but just as necessary in society. Okay? And women should not feel like they need to be like men. Go out and build things just to prove that they're just as important as men. And shouldn't push themselves, and women should not push each other to be like men, just to prove a point, saying, oh, of course we're as equal as men. We can do the same as them. That's not the point. It should not be the point, and they've missed the entire point. Okay? And I guess that's kind of like what she's missing. So she is correct, Pearl is correct in that women don't do the things that men do. They have not been, built a rocket or been a female Elon Musk. The closest we've had, I guess, was Elizabeth Holmes of that Theranos fame. If anyone's heard about her in that case, and what she did to that point by being an absolute fraud. So she herself was manipulating all these investors into investing in her business where the technology just didn't work. And that is actually a strong, I guess, a strong skill of a woman, natural skill of a woman, being persuasive and convincing, that sort of thing. So in that effect, she was really persuasive, got very smart and very wealthy people, able to convince those people to invest in a company and convince them that it works when it didn't. So let's see what else Pearl has to say.
Life of a woman. So we have a woman, right? Look at this. I'm going to give her some nice, pretty hair. And we have a man here. So this is going to be Susie and this is going to be Bob. So what do Susie and Bob do? They go to, all right, sorry guys, I can't draw, but they go to school. Now, the school system is women teachers, women administrators, and in my opinion, a system that is nicer to women than to men. Now, what is the average life of an average woman and an average man? First off, they go to school. And in my opinion, the schools favor the women. And how do I think they do this? One, it is a completely female staff. Now, let's look at the last 100 years. Are women typically sympathetic to men? No. And are women typically pretty emotional? Yes. And that is what is teaching the men and the women. Now, there's studies that have come out during COVID that indicated that when women were home and their cameras were off, that they actually got worse grades, indicating that maybe the teachers favor young women. And it would kind of make sense with what we see in society. The world is generally nicer to women than it typically is to men. So, women will get A's and the men will get C's. And remember, guys, in the 70s and 80s, they actually switched a lot of the schooling to make it more feminine and subjective. They started weighing heavier papers, essays, and projects rather than standardized testing. Schools moved away from this. And as schools moved away from this, we saw IQs drop and we saw men doing worse. So the men go through the life and they get the C's, and throughout this, they have a bunch of feminist, liberal-ass women that didn't have kids of their own, so they just want to ruin yours. And then the women go to college, and the men go to dropout, okay? So women, college, the men will drop out, except for, like, the hard things, which women don't want to do either. Like, we look at college, the women get all the nice, fuzzy subjects, the men do the hard stuff, typically. So the women go to school and they automatically think they're smarter than the men because, the teachers are telling the men to sit down. They're giving them worse grades even though they do the same work. And if they're not woke, which men aren't really with the woke stuff, you'll just see the teachers making the men's life a living hell. So the men say F this and drop out, and the women go to college. Now, some of the men do go to college too. So now let's talk about the jobs. Right now, we're seeing men actively being discriminated against for high-paying jobs. I spoke to a recruiter this weekend in the tech industry, and he said that he actively discriminates against men and hires women. So then the women under 30 start to make a lot of money. And they typically make money three ways. They'll either monetize their beauty or go into an industry that's subsidized by the government. So healthcare, for example. And I think that the government gives us all these useless jobs to make us think we're more efficient than we actually are. Where the men actually do the hard jobs or say F this and leave. They'll look at the market and say, okay, I'm getting discriminated against for jobs that I'm overly qualified for. And that's where we see all these men staying home. Or they go to work and they realize that they're going to get a bunch of sexual harassment complaints or the women telling them how to talk or whining, whatever it is. So they don't like that. Or they go do a hard job, and honestly, I think they're underpaid for it. So what do we see throughout this whole system, right? Of making money and being efficient and providing value to a society. We see that the men are actively discriminated against and the
Okay, what she's basically saying is that society has been feminized. Okay, so they're leaning towards giving women the better grades and so forth because they're being taught by women more. And I guess this is all a reflection of the shift in society towards more left-wing, at least in Western society. Left-wing values, more, leftist ideologies. And I guess it also stems out from a bit of a guilty conscience, I guess, because even that obviously all this had to be allowed by the men, and I guess the men are feeling a bit, have a bit of guilty conscience. That's always been the patriarchy before. They've always been in power, so let's give it to the women and let them have their time. We'll go out of our way to accommodate them and structure everything around them, including the education system. And when she says that IQs have dropped and things have been dumbed down, I actually agree with that, because when I've looked at the school curriculums now, everything's just been so, when you say, dumbed down. Because I looked at what they're doing in science, and the stuff that used to be done in year 7th grade is now done in the 9th grade. I think this is not right. So I guess it's then skewing things to be more in line with the women's skills, what they're good at. So the STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, they've been more simplified so women can do better at them. And things are skewed to more humanities, which is literature and all that sort of thing, which women are better at. So she's right, the women then end up getting better grades. And then they get hired and get paid lots of money in corporate, but they tend to stick more towards government, I guess, more secure, and then better conditions, so forth, and then you get treated better. And you know what? It's far less competitive in a government environment because not as cutthroat. It's not a profit motive incentive. So that's the way I agree with her there. And men are just given the hard jobs and women prefer the cushy jobs, because if you noticed that there's been all this push towards having equal representation or equal quotas in boardrooms and wanting women CEOs and that sort of thing, but they're not pushing for equal representation of women to do the harder jobs like working on oil rigs, bricklaying, that sort of thing, street cleaners, with a heavy machinery. So yes, women are a bit hypocritical, I guess, feminists especially, Yes, you say you want, you can do the same thing, you want equal representation, but it's only the fun and the most prestigious jobs and the jobs where it's a cleaner environment and less labor is involved. Let's be honest. Okay, let's see what else she's got to say.
Women are given special treatment. And what still happens? The men still make more. So what conclusion does that lead me to? I think the women are dumber than the men because I think our emotions just get in the way. We're too emotional. We see a problem, we get emotional about it where the men can just think. I don't make the rules. I just look at the marketplace, guys. So then I started to think, okay, if women have these great decision-making abilities, like we so claim, we're so mature and we're just so good at stuff and women power, women power. You would think, right, we would have a female billionaire by now. We would have the equivalent of a female Elon Musk, Bill Gates, but it's been 100 years with all this freedom. Where is she? The only thing we can produce is Kim Kardashian. So then I started thinking about mate selection. Like that's the most important thing that we have to bring society is children. And do women in general select men very well? Is that what we're known for? No, we start to pick drug dealers, criminals, and players, right? So let me get this straight, all right? So in a system that primarily props us up, we're still not more efficient. And in terms of mate selection, we pick terrible. So then I started to think, okay, is there anything women are better at? And guys, I have been thinking.
All right, I've just stopped her there. Yes, when she's saying that there's been no female Elon Musk, that's a female equivalent of Elon Musk, that is true. Women are more emotive than men. Men are far more rational, and that is the truth. So that I'd agree with. However, being rational and being emotive, I guess two different sides of the spectrum. In other words, to me, it's like a yang and a yin. They're different, but the complementary, you need both. However, you do not put a yin person in a yang role and expect the same outcome or the same results from a yin person doing a yang job. Just as if you're not going to get as good a result putting a yang person in a yin role. Having a man doing teaching teaching childcare in preschool just doesn't quite gel the same way. Okay, and when she goes to about mate selection from women, with all this help and support, and women saying they're just as smart and just as able, they still make very poor choices, drug dealers, playboys and so forth. And that all goes down to women liking the bad boy. Yeah, so to speak. You know why? Because the bad boy is exciting. It's just like in one of my videos previously, when I said men are like shoes, because you love the exciting glittery stuff, but it's not good for your feet over the boring pair of brown shoes, which you wear for a long time because it's good for your feet and you feel very comfortable. But that doesn't gather much attention, does it? And the bad boy seems so much more exciting than the nice guy that would look after you and take care of things and help you take care of the kids and work and bring home the bacon so you can have a nice life, that sort of thing. And I guess in that way, women fail at it, that being dumb in that respect, because they've let their emotions make the decision rather than being rational over a decision that will affect every aspect of your life. It is arguably the most important decision you can make in your life. So, all right, let's continue with what she's got to say.
For months. Now, I think they fake the IQ test because I've interviewed hundreds of men and hundreds of women, and I really think they're faking the IQ test to make women think, they couldn't convince the general population that women are on the extremes of the IQ test because, let's be honest, then we'd have some billionaires. But they're like, okay, women, the average woman is smarter than the average man. And they tried to convince us this. And I'm like, I don't believe. So then I thought, are we more nurturing? I don't know if I spelled that right. I'm a woman, okay? Are we more nurturing? And I found out that the most likely person to kill the child and the elderly is a woman. If someone kills their own kid, 90% chance it's the woman because, again, we process things with our emotions first. So if we get angry, we get upset, that's all we can think about. It like clouds our judgment. And most women can probably think of a time where they got super angry or upset and did something that they're not proud of. Not to say that men don't get angry too, but men have to weigh the costs a lot more than women because they know they might end up killed. We're women, we just have no consequence, really. And that's why you see all of these women getting away with killing babies in society. I keep seeing this trend of them barely going to jail. So then I thought, okay, so let me get this straight. We're dominating this school system, making less money, even though we have all these special privileges, so we're not smarter than men. Then I started to think, okay, we're not more nurturing than men. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe we're better cooks, right? Aren't we supposed to be these like amazing cooks? All the top Michelin chefs. So, guys, please, I know I sometimes I clickbait a little bit. It's not all women are dumb, but I just think as a group, women are dumber than men. And I think it's okay. And I don't think it has to be this big deal that you guys all whine and cry about. And which goes back to the real problem, which is female narcissism. I think we all think we're more special than we are. We're more important than we are. And number one, smarter than we are. Nothing like a woman that thinks she's so smart.
Well, she is correct when they say women tend to get away with things more because society treats them with more cotton gloves. I guess women get shorter jail sentences and unfortunately kill more of the children. I guess because they tend to be the ones taking care of the children. And there was a recent case in the UK where a white nurse killed like 6 or 7 babies, and a hospital admin staff was dismissing any suspicions about her. I don't know why, maybe because she's a woman or maybe she's friendly with them. We don't really know what exactly happened there, but yeah, that is the case. And the other thing she mentioned is that there are not really any female Michelin star chefs. If there are, there'll be a lot fewer than men. But I put this down to actually stamina, because if anyone's ever worked in a commercial kitchen, it is very long hours, standing up, and you've got to be so quick. And women just physically cannot do the 18-hour days sometimes that they do, physically do it. So that's why you've got more men being chefs, professional chefs, even though as an average, women are better cooks than men. But the reason why there's far more chefs than women, particularly the top ones, is that they have the stamina to keep going. That's a physical thing. So it's not that anyone's better than the other. That's what it is. But the final statement she made is that as an average, men are smarter than women. The way I interpret it is as an average, most men are far more rational than women. Women are too emotive, and because they're too emotive and think with their heart, their feelings, rather than their brain, and being rational about things, they miss a lot of things and they make poor decisions. Yeah, because of that. And I guess, partner selection is one of them, even though men have also been guilty of that, making poor partnership choices. But that is due to something else, not the heart, more likely the loins, if you know what I mean. So those are my thoughts on what Pearl has said about why she thinks women are dumber than men, or why women are not smart. What do you think? Let me know by leaving your comments below, and if there is any video or subject that you'd like me to cover or comment on, then please feel free to leave that below as well in the comments section. So that's it for this segment, And until I see you next, remember to stay safe, confident, and gorgeous.